Are you sick and tired of being recommended the staff of Homa every time? Are you an F2P player looking for F2P advice? If yes, let's talk. Don't say anything yikes, because your chat you see right on top of my head, the chat is gonna appear in YouTube. Don't say anything yikes, dude. It's going on YouTube. Alright, chat, say hi to YouTube. Hey, YouTube. Okay. Quick. Wait. So no, don't redeem stuff. It's gonna go on YouTube, bro. Alright. Okay, so before we start, let me explain the tiers. Let me explain what this tier list is. This tier list is meant to guide free-to-play players, so I will make this.
Stop it. Get some help.
Okay, mods, can you? I am disabling on GIF redeems. I'm disabling on GIF redeem. Dude, I'm trying to work over here. So, you know what? The sound alert's gone too. If you redeem sound alerts, you wasted your bits. Congratulations. There we go. Sound alerts is now muted. Wait, is it?
Bruh, look at this dude. Wait till you see the.
Wait, no, it's not muted properly.
No.
Wait, hold up. There we go. It's muted. You can't stop my YouTube video, chat. You guys got muted. Okay, yo, chat, you're acting like kids, dude. Come on. Now, I can start my YouTube video. Okay, so before we begin, this is a F2P tier list. This tier list is meant for free-to-play players only. I assume that you have C0 on all 5 stars and 1 to 2 constellations maximum on the 4 stars. And that's how I'm gonna rank these characters. Broken is broken tier. S is really good, but not exactly broken. If I put someone on B tier, it doesn't mean they're bad. B and B plus is decent. The thing about Genshin Impact is if you put good enough resources and good enough weapons on any character that I'm gonna rate B and above, they become good. So if you see your favorite character being ranked B, they're still good, build them. It's when I rank them at C and D that I don't personally recommend you build them. Let's get started. Quick disclaimer, I have not played every single character, so I will not be rating characters that I don't have enough playtime on, right? Because I want to give you the best advice and the best recommendations. Some of you guys might be wondering what the broken tier is. Let's start off by ranking Bennett. Bennett is broken. For free-to-play players, for dolphins, for whales, for everybody. All you need is Constellation 1. And that's why we're calling the broken tier broken. Let's talk about Ayaka. I would put Ayaka at C0 in the S tier. Ayaka's burst is way too strong to ignore. At C0, you can always build Ayaka as a sub DPS burst. Her burst has one of the highest damage in the game. But a note to F2P players is that Ayaka requires a lot of resources to farm for, because you will need the 4-piece Blizzard Strayer to do a lot of damage on Ayaka. The reason I'm not gonna put Ayaka in the broken tier is because there's a huge power gap between pay-to-win swords and F2P swords. And the F2P sword that comes closest to a pay-to-win sword is the Blackcliff Longsword, which F2P players will have to give up 34 Star Glitter in order to buy one. And for free-to-play players, that's 7 wishes, and I'm not sure if you want to waste 7 wishes. So that's my biggest issue with Ayaka. But technically, her burst is just way too good to put her any lower than S tier. Alright, so Barbara, I'm gonna put her in the C tier. I feel like she has some utility. A lot of people are forgetting that there's a lot of characters that rely on charge attack in this game. That means stamina consumption. People seem to sleep on the first passive of Barbara. When Barbara uses her elemental skill, your stamina consumption is reduced by 12%. And that can make or break, say, a Yanfei, who relies almost solely on charge attack. You can extend that elemental skill up to 20 seconds. Also, you can always put a Thrilling Tales on her. That would buff the attack of your main DPS or the character you swap to by 48% for 10 seconds. She brings some value to the table and to your team. She's not exactly D tier. Albedo. I personally would put him at A tier. If you build him right, you know all those defense artifacts you get, right? If you play Genshin longer than 1 month, your AR 45 plus, you're gonna have a lot of defense artifacts. Your Albedo is gonna be cracked. And the best sword for Albedo, or one of the best swords for Albedo, is the Harbinger of Dawn, which is a 3-star weapon. Easy to refine, uses little resources to level up. Albedo's E constantly procs and it lasts for 30 seconds. Next, I will put Sayu as a solid B+. There are situations where she shines, and then there are situations where she does not do so well. So Sayu is really good against multiple mobs, but she is horrible against like single targets or few enemies. She can be A or even A+ against multiple enemies, and she's a solid B or even C against big bosses or few big enemies. Oh, you guys want Mona next? Mona, I will explain why I am putting her in S tier. She is very easy to build as a full support. All you need is a lot of energy recharge and she can keep spamming her ult, and you would constantly proc that Omen debuff on enemies constantly. And you can slap a Favonius Codex on Mona, which we all have. You know, that one book we don't want, but we all have. You don't even have to worry about making her a damage dealer until later in the game. And you can easily upgrade and transition Mona from a full support to a sub DPS burst easily. And thank you for spamming the chat. So my YouTube viewers gonna think my viewers are weird on Twitch. You guys are like, Mom, I'm on TV. Okay. Diona. Yo, is Diona an A+ or an S? I don't know. She brings so much utility. Diona can shield, and if you have a sacrificial bow, she can shield twice. She can heal. She can apply cryo constantly. So she's also like a low-key enabler. She just brings so much utility, even at C0. And she's not that hard to build. I would say she's an S tier. And the fact that she's a 4-star means it's easy for you to get her compared to a 5-star character. I have to put her at S tier. I underrated Kazuha so much. At Z0, he would be S tier minimum. A triple EM full EM support build Kazuha, he would increase elemental damage by about 30% and decreasing elemental resistance by 40. When you combine that together, your entire team's gonna nuke every single enemy out there. Let's talk about Razor. So at C0, I would put Razor at a solid B+, but all you need is C1 Razor to bump him up to A tier. He's got a huge fandom, he's got a lot of potential, especially when you get to Constellation 4. He might even be A+ at Constellation 4 and above. There are people who triple crown Razor, there are people who put Wolf Gravestone on him, and I've seen Razor hits for 10 to 20k per normal attack. He is absolutely cracked with the right builds and the right weapons. Alright, so chat's requesting Klee next. C0 Klee for an F2P player. I would put her as A as well. She has damage potential of an S, but I will tell you why I drop her down to A. She needs the 4-piece Crimson Witch to absolutely slap. And you know, 4-piece Crimson Witch does not come easy. She requires a lot of resources to build. There's not a lot of good F2P weapons for Klee. So if you miss the Midsummer event, you don't have the Doko Tails. The only weapon you're gonna have to gamble on is the Witch Sith. Maybe Mapamare, maybe Sack Frags, but there's just not a lot of good F2P weapons for Klee. I would put her at A+, but also because her playstyle is clunky, you have to really learn to play Klee. Animation cancel. People find her playstyle really difficult to master as well. So all of those factors combined, I would say she's a solid A tier. Xiangling. I'm not sure if this is a popular opinion. I think it is. I would put her in broken for a couple of reasons. One, you get her for free. So the next time you get another Xiangling, you're getting constellations. And Xiangling constellations are cracked. She does not require a lot of resources to build. If you vape her damage, her Pyronado can melt even the floor 12 enemies. There's a lot of F2P weapons you can put on Xiangling. For example, you have the craftable Inazuma Spear, the Kitain Cross Spear. Dragon's Bane is amazing on Xiangling. But if you don't have those two, you can always prioritize energy recharge for bonus lands so you can do the Pyronado more often. Xingqiu, also broken tier. He's able to enable every DPS in the game. He can enable deluxe damage, he can enable Hu Tao, he can do a perma-freeze comp if you pair him with Ayaka. Like, he is such a good enabler. I would go as far to say as he is the best enabler in the game. Diluc. People say Diluc is dropped down to like an A or even a B+, right? But I would say Diluc is a solid A+. People are listening to content creators who have C6 Eula, C6 Xiao. When those content creators who are whales, they are saying Diluc is bad, and then the F2P viewers who watch those content creators are perpetuating this lie. Like, of course, if you have C6 Xiao, of course Diluc's not good anymore, right? But for free-to-play players, and even for low spenders, Diluc is a solid A+ character, especially when you pair him with Xingqiu. He can do insane damage. Even with F2P weapons, the prototype archaic is really good. Diluc can carry your team. Diluc can 9-star floor 12 with the right team combinations. He is really, really good for an F2P account. I see comments asking about Hu Tao when I talk about Diluc. I would rate Hu Tao right here, S tier. She has broken level damage, but she's not exactly broken because she has a 7 seconds downtime. That's issue 1. Issue 2, you're gonna need a good enabler for Hu Tao. Hu Tao on her own does not do as much damage compared to, say, if you have a Xingqiu. And Hu Tao is very F2P friendly. Okay, dude, okay, Hu Tao, shut up. There's a lot of good F2P weapons for Hu Tao. The Dragon's Bane is the best weapon for Hu Tao if you don't have the Staff of Homa. And let's be real, if you're free to play, you don't have a Staff of Homa. But if you don't have the Dragon's Bane, the White Tassel is really good too. Unfortunately, on my main account, I did throw away all the white tassels. My mistake. Don't throw away those white tassels. Refine the white tassel to refinement rank 5 and put it on Hu Tao. She will slap. And so that means she's really easy to build in terms of weapons. Let's talk about Beidou. At C0, she's a B. I would put her at A tier. If you have C2, she's cracked. And also, that counter is nothing to sneeze at. Ganyu. C0, C-20, doesn't matter. Broken tier. There's a reason everyone hailed Ganyu as the DPS queen. Everyone is looking forward to the Ganyu rerun. Everyone's been spamming the forums, the Reddit, every streamer's chat, every Twitch chat is asking when's the Ganyu rerun. Her charge attack is literally a nuke. Uses no stamina, does 5 million damage. Enough explanation. Chat's been asking about Fischl. Fish is an interesting character. I would put Fish at A tier. Low constellation Fischl kind of falls off later in the game. She helps out early game players. She helps out F2P players. If you build her right, she still does decent damage, even for endgame players. If you play Fischl right, you can have almost 100% uptime on her bird. So chat's been asking about Jean. I would put Jean as a solid A tier. Her heal is pretty decent if you build Jean as a sub DPS, which means she's gonna heal your team and she can dish out some damage. She can swirl. Her ult also cleanses any elemental status on your characters. You can build her as a sub DPS. She can heal a lot. Her healing scales off attack. She can do some serious damage. Okay, so chat wants to know about Chao next. I'm gonna put him at S. Chao is insane value at C0 for F2P players. Pair him with a Black Cliff pole and your F2P C0 Chao can do whale damage. Okay, maybe not whale damage, but like dolphin damage. Pay to win damage. If built right, he is insanely good, even at C0. Chao's damage would be in the broken tier if you build him right, but the reason I'm putting him in S tier is at C0, you're gonna have some downtime where all of Chao's abilities, either you don't have enough energy to trigger his burst again and your E is on cooldown, and you're gonna have to swap out for a bit. I don't play Chi-Chi, but I'll raid Chi-Chi anyways. D. There's only 2 things Chi-Chi is good at. Healing and ruining people's 50-50. She does nothing aside from she heals way too much, is not necessary, and she's the last character you want to see when you're on that 50-50. Sucrose. Oh my god, I can't tell you. People really underrate Sucrose. I don't understand why, right? Sucrose is a solid A+ for F2P players. If you don't have Kazuha and Venti, Sucrose will carry you. She is a great support. She can buff the damage of your team, gives your team extra EM. She can constantly apply elements using her ult. Imagine you can melt every single one of Ganyu's charge shot. Venti. Okay, can anyone really dispute Venti not being Boken tier? Undisputed Boken tier, right? Maybe he starts to fall off a little bit lately because MiHoYo are making new enemies heavier. So they can't exactly be sucked into Venti's black hole. Even then, Venti, even if he can't suck enemies, his ult can still constantly absorb an element and apply that element. Chongli. Easy Boken tier. His rod is broken. His shield's unkillable. His burst petrifies everybody if his burst doesn't kill them. Does insane damage and shreds enemies like resistance or defense. And if you get that Geo resonance, get 2 Geo characters on your team, you get that Geo resonance. My god, I can keep listing why Chongli is good. Build triple HP Chongli, hold E, watch your team be invincible forever. Even in the floor 12 of Spiral Abyss. Child. Mr. Money. My rating's gonna be controversial. I would put him as a solid B+. I'm sorry. At C0, he's a B+. If you got him, he's good. Build him. But if you have Primo Gems and you want to spend for Child, I would say save for like a better character up here. C0 Child, his E cooldown is 5 years, give or take, right? He tap E, he swap out. His swords are forever offline. I don't get it. You can build him as a sub DPS burst or an enabler, but let's be real. Xingqiu exists, and he's a 4-star, so you're gonna get him easy or eventually, right? Why would you spend your hard-earned F2P Primo Gems on a Z0 Tartaglia? And Xingqiu does not have to be on the field to do damage. Alright, let's go next. Xinyan D. Just no. Let's talk about Eula. I would put Eula as a solid S tier. 1, there are some good F2P weapons you can put on Eula. The Prototype Archaic is good. The Snow Tomb Star Silver is good. Right, so you have a few options in terms of like what weapon you want on Eula. 2, Eula is easy to build. If you're not going for the ideal 4-piece Pale Flame, you can do 2-piece Pale Flame, 2-piece Bloodstain. And she does insane damage on her ultimate. But do note that Eula has an energy problem. Rosaria. I'll put her as a B+. I feel like she can be a solid A tier if you build her as a cryo enabler. But because there's a lot of good cryo characters in the game, I would drop her to B+. Her crit rate buff for other teammates is good, but not that good. Rosaria can do a lot of damage with her ult, but you're gonna have to build her up really well. And that means a lot of resources on a cryo enabler when there are better cryo characters in the game. Yanfei is a B tier character at C0 and B+ at C1. Her charge attack uses stamina. Even at C1, any character that uses stamina as part of their kit, you will eventually run out of stamina and you can't dash a lot. It's an issue. Imagine not being able to dash for 5 seconds in the Spiral Abyss. You're dead. Her range is really good. Her damage is cracked if you pair her with Xingqiu or say Rosaria. So Yanfei really needs a shield character. Yoimiya. Do I make Yoimiya a separate video? I can talk about Yoimiya for 10 minutes why she's B tier in my F2P tier list. Yeah, I need to explain a lot. There's a lot of things that went wrong in the design phase of Yoimiya. I am even willing to say that I think she is intentionally crippled or sabotaged. You know she's beta tested, right? There are a lot of beta testers who played Yoimiya before they release her. And there is no way beta testers played Yoimiya like this and went, oh yeah, she's ready for release. Yeah, she's good, dude. Just release her like this. She's balanced. My guess is she must have been nerfed after playtesting. Okay, I will do a separate video for Yoimiya if you got Yoimiya, she can be really good. Her damage can be A+ tier, but if you don't have Yoimiya, I put her in B tier because I strongly recommend not spending Primo gems to try to get Yoimiya. Primos don't come every day for F2P players. I mean, okay, they do come every day. You get 60 Primos per day doing daily commissions, but I don't recommend you wasting Primo gems on Yoimiya. But if you got her, she's A+, congratulations. But if not, B tier, do not get her. Alright, so that is my complete tier list. These characters I did not rate because I don't play them enough to have a good opinion or at least a good advice. If you guys have any opinions, for those on YouTube, because I know I'm on Twitch right now, but for those on YouTube, if you have any comments, do you have any questions you want to ask about this tier list? I stream 5 days a week on Twitch, and I will see you on Twitch, and I'll see you next time. Drop into my Twitch chat, say hi, and drop a question, and we'll talk. We'll talk.